V.Sangeetha, Assistant Professor, Department of Costume Design and Fashion. In this video, we are going to see about file fabric structure weave. In the PPT presentation, first we are going to see about what is file fabric in weave structure. File fabric is a three-dimensional texture characterized by raised surface of loops or cut onions that extend above the base ground structure. The structure is created by adding an extra sets of yarns or Weft yarns to the basic weaving or knitting process. Then the file fabric. The file fabric has two major functions. One is structural character and second one is construction method. What is structural character? The file fabric features raised loops or cut yarns ends projecting above the basic weave, creating distinctive three-dimensional texture and surface depth. The second one is construction method. Create by adding extra yarns, either warp or weft yarn, that forms the characteristic file surface above the ground fabric structure. Common examples for file fabric: velvet, corduroy, cherry cloth, and velveteen represents classic file fabric, each with unique textile and functional properties. The formation of steps of file fabric. Creating a file fabric requires a sophisticated multi-stage weaving process that builds textures layer by layer. Ground fabric foundation. Start with the ground fabric woven in plain, 12 or basket weave structure to provide a stable base support. File yarn insertion. Insert extra yarns, pile yarns, during the weaving to create a loop or tuft that will form the surface texture. Rod formation techniques use rods or wires in the loop set to form loops over them, controlling pile height and uniformity. Loop release. Remove the rods carefully to leave the loop standing vertically on the fabric surface. Finishing options. Loops can be left intact for loop file or cut for cut file, creating a different texture and visible effects. Then formation steps. First step is warp file insertion. Warp file yarns are woven over inserted rods or wire positioned in the loom during weaving. Loop formation. Rods create a uniform loops by holding yarns elevated above the base fabric structure. Rod withdrawal. After weaving advances, rods are carefully withdrawn, leaving standing loops on the surface. Cut by options. Cut loops or cutting loops with specialized blades produces luxuriant cut file fabric like velvet cloth. The next is types of file fabric. The file fabric are classified two types. One is warp file fabric and another one is weft file fabric. Now we are going to see about warp file fabric. When file yarns run lengthwise in the warp direction, distinctive fabric with a unique property emerge. Construction. Warp file fabric construction details. Warp file fabric typically use two warp system, ground and file, plus one weft system for structure integrity. The example of warp file fabric is velvet, terracotta. These two fabrics are major examples for warp file fabric. What is velvet cloth? Short, dense cut file with the soft, sheen and luxurious hand feel. Prized for everything. Wear and upholstery. Cherry cloth is looped or file on both sides, creates a high absorbent surface, essential for both towels and robes. Then weft file fabric. File yarns run crosswise in the weft direction, create a fabric with a distinctive ribbed structure and durability. Construction systems. Weft files uses one warp system and two weft systems, one for ground fabric and one for file formation. Corduroy. Cut file formation, parallel ribs or veils with distinctive ridge texture, popular in casual apparels and workwear for durability. Velveteen. Cotton based cut files with filling weft file yarns, offering softer hand and more casual aesthetic than the warp file velvet. Other file fabrics types of other file fabric. First one is tufted file, then second one is knitted file, third one is flocked file, and versatile applications. What is tufted file? Yarn loops are stitched directly into the packing fabric using specialized stuffing machines, widely used in corporate manufacturing and for cost-effective production. Knitted files. Loops formed through knitting techniques rather than weaving created stretchy file fabric like selene with unique drape and comfort. Cloaked file. Short fibers are electrostatically glued onto the fabric surface in vertical orientation, creating a uniform velvet structure for specialized applications. Then next is versatile applications. Each method offering unique advantages in texture, durability, production efficiency, and end users performance for diverse market needs. Why file formation matters? Sensor appeal, functional performance, wide industrial input. Sensor appeals provide expressional softness, warmth, and tactile texture that enhance comfort and aesthetic appeal. Functional performance deliver specific benefit, absorbency in cherry cloth, durability in corduroy, lux- luxury and elegance in velvet applications. Wide industrial impact essential across apparel, upholstery, home textile, and carpet, serving both functional and decorative purpose. Summary and takeaway. Today we learned about definition of file fabric and formation steps and classification. Then impact of file fabric. Definition. What we see in definition. File fabric or characterized is raised loop or cut ends projecting above the ground wave structure. Formation created through the specialized technique rod incision, face-to-face weaving, tufted and flock needs. Methods. Classification. Main types include warp file, velvet cherry and weft file corduroy velveteen with distinctive properties. Impact. Unique structure create diverse textures and functional properties essential across textile and industrial worldwide. Thank you.